So, could you please present the slides, the host maybe? Yes, the correct slides, of course. Yes, I think that looks correct. Okay. Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. So we are, I think, on the third one or the second one for this meeting, and would like you to get involved more actually in the optimizing digital technology in this kind of what do you call it, in this kind of event. So I would like you to work on yourself in a team. That's why that I want you to explain. I want to explain today what will you do, and then how could you do it. So that's what I mean. And yeah, so let's go through. Yeah. First of all, also good afternoon, everyone there. Here is still morning, but there is afternoon, I would say. Yeah, so let's go to the first slides. First slide is already done. So second slides, I would say. Second plus, please. Second. Yeah, so today I will introduce a little bit of the problems that we want to solve in regards to the warung kopi .csv. So that's the data that we will work on, and what is actually this warung kopi. I will explain a little bit, and then I will also detail you the questions, and some questions we will answer together in this presentation, and some questions, the rest of the question will be left to you to do as exercises. And in these exercises, you will also get points. So the total points will be 150 points. And yeah, so the points will be done based on the so each of you will do a presentation next week based on the presentation. Yeah, so each of your group, I mean not you individually, but as a group, you will do a presentation and to present the results, and then I will mark them basically based on the points that is so each of the question has a maximum points, and yes, so we will go through that together. Okay, next one, please. Yeah. Yeah, so today we will go through how to start data analysis using Jupyter Lab. Jupyter Lab is basically a Python programming language, and we use Pandas, actually something called Pandas. It's like a library, a Jupyter Lab library, and we will do it in CoCalc. CoCalc is an online interface for many programming language, including Jupyter Lab. So I hope that you have already registered yourself for the account. I mean, one or two per groups is enough. I think one is enough. And then we will go to the step-by-steps to set up what is necessary to be done before doing the data analysis, basically the filtering and such. So I sent you already also through one of your hosts. I think I sent you the codes that I use, and then you can use that codes. You're welcome to use that codes and continue to work on that codes to answer some of the questions which are not yet answered. So that's the point of this exercise here. And yeah, so okay, let's go to the next slides. Yeah, as you remember from last week, we have this kind of marketing analysis, and that was with Red Bull. And we wanted to know, for example, what is the premium pricing for certain products, and with each of the products, which of the product is most sold. For example, maybe the sugar-free is most sold in certain regions. Maybe the Coca-Cola Red Bull, maybe most in Jakarta, I don't know. So basically, this is just an example, but we will see an analysis like that, but with warung kopi. Warung kopi doesn't have Red Bull, but other drinks, basically. Okay, so next slides, please. And the objectives of this exercise, basically, we will do data loading. So how you gonna load the data, because the data is the source of informations, source the informations of the analysis. Yeah, so without the data, you cannot do any analysis. And how we do data cleaning, filtering, and data analysis and visualizations also. That's important. So after the analysis, you want to visualize, probably easier to see for everyone, because a picture worth 1,000 words. That's always true. And the last thing is how to interpret the data itself. I mean, how to interpret the visualization. That's left up to the user goes to you, how to interpret it. So there is no such thing as wrong or right. Okay, so let's start. Next. Yeah. So these are the questions that we want to answer from warungkopi.csv. The first one is what category of products are most ordered by customers? So in warungkopi files, there are kind of three hierarchies. So the first one is category. The second one is called product type, and below it is product details. So product details is the most detailed products, items, basically. That's really the items. Whereas the product category and product type is just classifications. So one is on the top of each other, basically. And then, for example, the second one here is, for example, how about if we plot a time series of the revenues of the turnover of the product category coffee at one of the store. One of the stores is called Madrid, and the other two stores, I think, is Barcelona and Asturias. So I give you the name which is like closer to football. Maybe a lot of you are a fan of football, so that's why that maybe it's more interesting than like a normal name. So this is also interesting because coffee is also quite famous in Europe. I mean, particularly in the southern part of Europe. That's why that they consume it quite regularly there. And for example, in what month the highest lowest total revenues, and we can see together. And then yeah, number 4, for example, this is questions for you to solve in a group later. I mean, in your own time, not today. After we finish the presentation, you can start, but it's up to you, of course. For example, number 4 here, for all the beverage products, what cup size or what size of the products is most sold? Yeah, so for all the stores, so you can sum up all the stores and then see which one is the which of the cup size or of the what do you call it, of the cup itself that is most sold. Okay, the next one, please. And it's another question. Sometimes I give hint how to arrive at some data and such correctly. So I give a hint, and then here, for example, I give number 5. I give lots of hints, and you see on the brackets, on the square brackets, they are the points. So if you can answer it correctly, then you get the full point. Of course, this is not an issue. And yeah, but you say you work in a group, so the group will get the points, and of course it will translate to everyone the same points in that group. And yeah, so we'll sit together and answer some of the questions, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slides. So in total there are 8 questions, and the ninth question is actually, I just say that you can, if you, for some reason you cannot use Jupyter Lab or Python, then you come actually to use other languages, even Excels. I mean, you can of course open the data, the CSV file in Excels, and you can save as a XLS files, so Excel files, and then you can do analysis there using pivot table or something like that. So basically, if you use Python, I will give you, of course, extra points for that because Python is not really a common language. Maybe in Jakarta, in Indonesia, it's not a common language to use. I'm not sure, but in Europe, it's used frequently at work. I use Python all the time for the data analysis, to be honest. And yes, so if you use Python, I think I will give you, for sure, I will give you 10 points of appreciations. But if not, I mean, you don't have to use Python if you don't want. For example, you find it hard to program or something, or you're not comfortable with it, you can still solve the problems with Excels and with pivot table, for example. If you know how to use pivot table, I think all the questions here can be answered using that as well. Yeah, so please do the questions, and because you will earn the points. Okay, maximum maybe if you don't use Python 140 points, but still good than nothing. Okay, so the next slides, please. Yeah, so what is inside the warung kopi data? So if you look at on the, you could actually later I will tell you how to upload the data in the console, and then here, for example, on the left hand side, this is when you open it using Cocalc. So you can see transaction ID, transaction date, transaction times. These are the columns, and these are the variables basically. So in total, I think there's 150,000 rows, so 150,000 of data. And yeah, if you open it using CSV files, you can see on the right-hand side that will be the same like that: transaction ID, transaction date, transaction time, store ID, for example, store operations, product ID, and so on. The name of the columns is quite intuitive. So basically, you could just use the name as it is. And in total, there are 16 variables or 16 columns. But two of them we will remove it in the program because we don't really need them. So this is a way of filtering also. Please, next slides. Yeah. So here in the codes that I send you through your host, also we do this scripts. Basically, this is the first scripts that is in the window. You can upload my code as well. You can upload it through Calc upload. We will talk about it later. So here, what does it mean? Import pandas from Skype, import matplotlib, import seaborn, import plotly. So these are actually importing the libraries. So these are the libraries that we will use for the data analysis. That's why I use Python, because Jupyter Lab or Python is very easy to import the library, to use the libraries, and then we can just call the functions. The function is used to process the data, and this function are stored in the library. That's why that we imported these libraries, and these are the commands, kind of commands to import this library. And here also, again, we load the data sets. For example, df, this is the name of the variable that we created, a new variable to store the data sets. If you haven't done programming, this is how a program works. So is also an artificial intelligence. You have to do programming. So df is a data frame basically. You can name it anything. You can name it A, B, C. You can, but just give any name that you like. Of course, this is not an issue. And I want to use the library PD. So it's a pandas libraries, and I want to read the CSV files here. So this is the loading. But first you need to put your data sets into CoCalc. So you need to upload warungcopy.csv into CoCalc. And then later here I use, there is a coin here, it says shows the data. So if you do this, it will show the data, what is inside this data set CF. Okay, so the next slides, please. Yeah. Here we see that columns, for example, deleting columns and combining columns. So for the time series analysis, the question number 3, if I'm not wrong, or number 2, cannot remember. Number 2, I think. We do a time series analysis, so I need to use the transaction date time. Sorry, I need to, yes, transaction date time, and I have to create these variables because this variable is not available. But we have the variable transaction dates and transaction time, and we want to combine them together. So the date and the time, that's why we have date time variable. And the variables, we have to change the variables type from string, because the variable is just a text before, and I want to convert it to the date variables, the time variables itself. So with the time variables, the program or the AI can read directly the time series and understand that it's a time. So we don't need to sort anymore. Basically, they understand, okay, this time corresponds to this point in time, and so on. So that's why I converted it into date time variables here on the second line. Oh, I forgot to tell you that with the hash key here, like this hash key, that's just like comments. So you can put any comments you like. So it's for your own purposes. The machine or the Python itself, the compiler won't be able to read it. This is for human reader. The compiler will only read those which are not commented. So when you start with this in Python, it means commented out. So it will not do anything. You can write anything you like after the symbols, basically. And then, for example, here, the last one, we also drop one of the columns, actually 2 of the columns, transaction date and transaction time. And now we have only the time, transaction date time. And yeah, so, okay, next slides. And we want to check the data itself, of course, before we do any further manipulation on the data or any further calculation of the data. We need to make sure that the data are clean, correct, no duplication, for example. Yeah, if there's duplication, then the number is not correct, will be doubled or tripled, or can be 10 times higher, which is not true. That's why we check for duplications. When the duplication sum is null, it means that here it says the sum is null, because we try to check duplicated, and then sum. If there is more than zero, then it means there's a duplication. We need to clean the duplications somehow, but in this case, the data is already clean. There is no duplications. And yeah, so ideally we want to check it for each column, and this has been done for each of the columns. So with this very simple commands, it will go through each of the variables, each of the columns, 16 columns we have, and we already automatically. Okay, the next slides, please. Okay. Yeah. And the next one that we want to know is what type of each of the columns. or each of the variables. For example, we have transaction ID. Of course, transaction ID is just like an ID. It's not really useful. I mean, it's just like to track which each payment, each transaction that they made in the store, for example, because it's a real data. And then there's a store ID and store location. So store ID and store location are the same, yeah, together, basically. But store location, for example, ID correspond to Madrid. I see which one corresponds to what, or you can check yourself. But what important here to notice is that store location, there are only 3 locations. So basically Madrid, Asturias, which is on the north of Spain, and also the last one is Barcelona, which is slightly on the east sides, but a little bit north, but east sides. Okay, and then we check also the transaction quantity, how many items were sold for each of the products category, for example, for each of the product types, for each of the details. So how many of the products is being sold in each transaction actually. Yeah, in structure, in each transactions, there is a product quantity, of course, how many products. And there is also unit price. So for each of the transaction ID, for each of the product detail, what is the unit price for these transactions. And when we multiply the transaction quantity with the unit price, we get the total bill, basically. We get the total bill. So that's actually the multiplication of fields number 3 and 4. So that's total bill. And then there is, again, the product category, product type, product details. So these are type object, yeah, type object. So these are just text. Basically, object is more like text or string. If you have learned programming before, you know the type string, it means just text or characters. And these are hierarchy of the product itself. And like I said before, there was one question about the size and the cup size. So this is included in this number 9 here, and that's type object as well, because it says small or medium or large. And there is also unknown. I think if you see the unknown, then you can ignore it. Basically, you can actually use the size to select the data. So because if you want to know, this size only valid for products which are beverage products, so drinking products, and it's not valid for other products that is being sold. For example, coffee beans is not determined by size. So it means that for those doing number, we can use size as a criteria to filter the data and to get only the data, the rows that are related to the beverage products. So the next one is month name, day name, and hour month. So month name is like January, February, March, April, and so on. Month here is just number month. So January is 1, February 2, and so on until 12. And actually the data is only until June. So we have only from January until June. So 1 until 6. The hour, again, these are the same that we have used before. It's just the hour. And this transaction date time is the one that we created earlier. So this is for the time series. Yes, so you can see on the type of the data on the very right hand columns, D type. It's for example, there's integer data. So integer means like number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is a unit price. Unit price, it will be with comma after, like with point or comma, like cents and stuff, because we are working in euro, basically in euro currency. And total this also will have commas, for example, 10,5 or 100,6, for example, euros. It can be 65. So basically 65 cents, for example. The transaction ID, for example, and the unit price will, the transaction quantity, of course, that will be like a whole number. So you cannot have quantity of 1,5, doesn't make sense. So either 1 or 2, basically, or 3 or 4, and so on. You can have quantity 0, of course, if there is no transaction, will be 0. But minus, you cannot also have minus in this case, because the quantity minus doesn't make sense, because we are selling the items, not buying the items. I mean, so yeah. Okay, the next one, please. Yeah. Okay, so yes, so this is how we check the store location, for example. You can use the library pandas pd.unique. So we want to find unique data in the store location variables. This is the syntax to do it, the script to do it. So you can copy it for different variables. You can replicate this and then just change the store location to other variables. For example, the next one you see here, the product category. So we want to know, for example, what are the store locations available in this data, and there are only 3 here: Asturias, Madrid, and Barcelona. Like I said before, there are only 3. I've checked the data as well, and next is I check the product category. So there are actually quite a lot of products here under product category. So we have tea, coffee, for example. These are drinking products, and drinking chocolates, also drinking products, beverage products, and bakery, of course, is not, you cannot drink bakery, you must eat it. So it's not a drinking product. So there is also a flavor. This is actually not right naming. I don't know. The data is not very correct, the naming. This actually is syrup. That's why we will later also change it. And there is also loose tea. Loose tea here means like tea leaves, yeah, tea leaves. So basically, not the drinking before they mix with water. There will be only tea leaves or tea powder. What do you call it? Not tea powder, but yes, tea powder. I think they call it tea powder, correct? And then there is a packaged chocolates here. So it's like a chocolate bar, basically. And here also not very correct name, branded. That doesn't make sense to me. So it's actually souvenir items that you can buy from these stores. And here there is coffee beans. So coffee beans, again, like a loose tea, but with coffee. So actually the only drinking products here is tea, coffee, bakery, tea, coffee, not bakery, of course. Tea, coffee, drinking chocolates, and syrups here. Flavor is syrup. So yeah, so the next one, please. Yeah, here I corrected some nonsense data labeling. Basically, in Python, I can easily replace the columns. If the name of the columns is not correct, we can replace it. We can correct it, basically. So the first one is we do for branded, so that should be souvenirs items. And the second one is like loose tea, that should be tea leaves. And the third one that I want to change is flavors. So that's not really doesn't sound really right. So that should be flavoring syrups. And yeah, so this is how to replace it. So you do df replace, and then is in order, yeah, basically branded, loose tea, flavor. So these are the 3 columns you want to replace, 3 variables names that you want to replace. And you get here, you replace it with souvenirs, the first one, the second one with tea leaves, loose tea become tea leaves, and the third one, flavor, become flavoring syrups. So that's now more meaningful. So when you do again pd unique df product category, now we don't have branded loose tea and flavors, but we have now tea leaves, correct one. flavoring syrups, and also souvenirs. So now we at least have the correct, more meaningful product names. Okay, the next one, please. Next slides. And the next one that we will do is a product hierarchy. So as I said before, there is product type, there is product category. We have seen before product category. So we have changed some variables there. Now below the product category, there is product type. Here, for example, they classified into more detailed products, basically. And here there is a brewed herbal tea, brewed black tea, brewed green tea, and so on. There is a drip coffee, organic brewed coffee. So these are for the drinks, barista espresso, gourmet brewed coffee. And then there's scone pastry. So that belong to the bakery, of course. And then there is also, for example, premium brewed coffee. I think that's still the drinking products. Hot chocolate, of course, belongs to drinking chocolates, and so on. So basically, these are in the product types. So what is available in product types, and then so in the questions that I ask you to work on, you need to be careful because there are three categories: product categories, product types, and product details. So depending on the question, you answer accordingly. Yeah. So check unique product category here. Sorry, product detail. That should be product details. The comments I put wrong. I forget to change the comments, but maybe you can correct it later. So here, product details, we have, for example, peppermint, lemongrass. I think that's probably herbal tea. Seems like it, and so on and so on. So there is syrup here, caramel syrup, for example. Scones for the bakery, you have cranberry scones, ginger scones, and so on and so on. So yeah, so this how you can check all the details of the products. You can use easily PD unique, and you don't have to go through, for example, the list one by one. That will be wasting of time, first of all, and secondly, it's not sure whether you are accurate enough or not. So actually AI has done it for us, so that's really easy, right? That's the reason that we use this tool, basically. Okay, the next one. Yeah, and we do the grouping. Now we do slightly something more operations. Sorry, we can actually group data based on more than one variables or variable fields. The first one is for example, we want to group it based on the product category and also for the store location. For example, we want to know, these are called variable-based grouping. So we group the data and we store it in different variables. We can store it in different variables, or just want to visualize the data table, and we use this instruction. So df dot group by, and then what category you want to group it. For example, here, I want to group it based on which variable, product category and store location. So I want to know for each of the store location, like Madrid, for example, Barcelona and Asturias, for each of the product category, like tea, coffee beans, tea leaves, and so on, we will want to get what is the transaction quantity. So how many items are sold in total. That's why I take this variable transaction quantity and I do sum here. So when you group, you have to do some operation on the variables that you want. For example, if it is a number, then you have to sum it, or you have to take one number or sum it, or take average, for example. You can also take average, but in this case, I want to take the sum and the total revenue, for example. I want to take the sum here. So add all the data that goes into this group, basically, into these categories. Okay, so next one, please. Next slides. Okay, yes. So these are the results of the grouping. And for example, here I want to group only based on the transaction quantity without revenues, but again per product category and per store location. Okay, so if you want to switch, you can also switch. For example, if you switch the order, store location first and then product category, they will do it first here, store location, so Asturias, Barcelona, and Madrid. And then for each of the store location, there will be product category. But in this case, we do the other way around. So we do product category first. So that's why we have only one bakery, coffee beans, all the products that is available. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 products. And for each of the products, we detail all the store location. Of course, all the products are sold in all locations in this case. And we can check that. Yes, so the T, everything has three entries here. So all the products, none of the products is only in 1 or 2 locations, but all of the products are sold in all locations. And here, automatically the AI sum it up, basically using this expression, sum it up by its category. For example, bakery in Barcelona, how many has been sold? So it's 7,678 exactly. And then, for example, flavoring syrups in Madrid is 4,709, for example. Yeah, so from January until June. So the whole data that we use here. Okay, so the next one is, yeah, next slides, please. Oh, this is also answering question 1, actually. Yeah. So the question is, what categories of product are mostly ordered by customers per store location? And the answer is coffee. Coffee as a drink, yeah, not coffee beans. And here, additionally, actually, you have to do it per store location. So that's why that here I also plot per store locations, and the table before on the previous slides also per store location. So you have to check, and but in all 3 locations, coffee is the highest traded quantity. So basically, it's the highest, not the highest revenues, but the highest traded quantity. Yeah, and the next one will be, for example, this one in Barcelona, in Madrid. I don't have the one in Asturias, but yeah. So basically, these are the highest traded quantity. And I want you also in some of the question to plot something. And for example, here is how to plot something. For example, you can see also in the codes, and then you can replicate it if you like. You can learn from. I give you a link how to do plots, for example, how to check like libraries and stuff. You can check it yourself if you like, or Google it, or you can use ChatGPT to check how to plot something, to plot this, to plot that. I think will be quite useful, ChatGPT, in this case, because then you can get the answer easily. But after all, you have to follow the syntax always. For example, the data you have, and then plot, and what kind of plot you want. Like for example, this one is bar plot. It's called column plots or bar plots. And then here you have product category as labels, and then quantity. This you can name it anything. So it will be great if in the exercise, or also because it's also been marked, you put a correct label. So if it is product category, it's product category. If product details, you put product details. And then here also quantity is not revenue, it's not money, but it's just numbers. And then give the titles, for example, if you could give the titles. Okay, so next slides, please. The second question, I think. Yeah, so the second question answer is about the time series data. And yeah, so here are the scripts for time series, for generating time series. For example, I create another variable called time series equal the flog and so on. So I want it only for Madrid store. So I will take Madrid store. So this log will take only from the big data sets. We will take only a slice of it. So we cut through like a cake, basically. we want to take only data that contains Madrid store. So the other stores are thrown away, basically. And we have now smaller data stored as a time series. And yeah, that's why I put here store location equal Madrid. And then in time series, you have to use another variable which is called transaction date time. And the transaction date time is basically the variable that we created before. It's for combining the time and the date. And with this, we can then plot the time series. So basically, each of the point in the time we will plot as a line, basically, as a dot, and then join together as a line. And then what other variables I want to get here is what important here in the question. We want to know the revenue of this store Madrid over time, and also the product category. So the product category is important because you want to get only for the coffee. We don't want for all, but for only for the coffee. So that's we can differentiate between coffee and non-coffee product. And okay, so basically I do a group by here, and then we group by transaction date time and product category, and we sum up the revenues. And now after this additional, this is quite an advanced technique actually. It's called time series wide, but don't worry, in the question that you have to answer, we don't do time series. So basically because time series is quite difficult to do in this case, this is quite advanced, unless for you who have learned a lot about programming, maybe you can of course try, but in the question I didn't put any question about time series. But this is formatting from wide format into long format basically, and this is necessary before we do time series. So basically, rather than having product category and then going down is the rows containing the product itself, coffee, tea, tea leaves, and such, we want this to be a column. So basically, I transfer the row, transpose the row into the columns, and that's why I do this time series wide here. So put it into wide format. So into wide formats, and then after this, we can then plot the time series. So to plot the time series, we do this instruction below, like plot time series, and then the next one is just like labeling, naming like title with the titles and with the labels on the X, S, and Y axis. Okay, so the next one, please. Yes. So these are the results of the time series, and guess what? I mean, they do it correctly, and you see here 2023-01, so that's beginning of January, and 2023-02, so that's beginning of February. So they will in order themselves, and they will plot. Actually, there are lots of plots going on. That's why it's very dense here. And then, but you can see a little bit that almost towards the end of the of each of the month, the revenue is going up. So I'm not sure why, but maybe because towards the end, people become more confident, then they go always to buy coffee or something. And in the beginning of the month, maybe people want to save money first, and that's why that here the revenue. So stores have lots of money, basically receive lots of money from people buying coffee towards the end of the month, almost always. So maybe the end of the last week of the month, that I would say. And particularly here, there's also a very big jump in middle of June, I would say. I don't know for what reasons, but yeah, maybe there was a certain event that time, and lots of people wants to buy coffee, or maybe like a football match or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. So that's what by plotting the time series, we can see the general trends, what's really happening here in this case. And yeah, and for detailed analysis, of course, you can see like shorter time periods, for example, from January to February only. You can slice the data even more, and then you look at only certain periods, or from, for example, from June till June. Yeah, only from June only, for example, and then only for 1 month you can do that. Of course, this is not an issue. Yes, so we have to filter for example, the time itself only from month June. You can filter the column months, for example, only for June, and then you can plot again. So that's how powerful it is. I mean, with the data analysis, so we can do lots of stuff here. And the next question, please. The next slides. Yeah. So the third question was about the lowest and highest revenues, and for all products, yeah. So we don't care about the products. So we want to know for all products how many transactions for all month. Sorry, for all month. So in January, basically, they are 25,000, around 25,000 transaction, and total bill is 82,000 almost euro. This is the total bill. And for February, it a little bit, and so on. So March, for example, going up again until June. All is going up until June, because we have only the data until June here. And to get this number, for example, I do again grouping. It's very important. Very important operator here, group by. So df group by month name, for example. So month is just the number of the number of the months, the numbering of the months, and the month name is really the month name. And then we have the transaction quantity and the revenue itself. Yeah. And the question was, what is the lowest revenue? Is, of course, in February is the lowest, and the highest is in June, because from February onwards it's going up. Okay, next one, please. Yeah, I think we arrived towards the end of the presentation of the explanations. And yeah, so basically we arrive at the conclusions. So I've some questions to analyze foreign copy data, and yeah, so you could please work on it, because it has also some points, and in 2 weeks' time we'll go through together the answer from each group, and it will be a fair presentation and from you, because until this time I've always done the presentations. So it's your turn now to present something, and we will mark it together for each of the groups. And then yes, so that will be fun, I would say. And yeah, let's see how far you can stretch yourself, and how far you can analyze the data. I think that will be very exciting. But no stress. I mean, no stress, of course. I mean, just if you have any questions or anything about the data, about the operation and everything, you're welcome, always very, very welcome to ask me. I'm available on the email. I think on the last slides, there's an email, my email. You can email me as you like, or we can, if you want even a meeting or something, we can set up a meeting, and then I can explain stuff. But I think email will be good for you. And then yeah, so I've given to you examples how to answer this question, and then I send to you the codes itself, actually, for the questions that we have answered together so far. And you can continue on that codes, basically. And then after, yeah, so you can, yeah, so here is the point. So for each of the question, they are marked with points, like each of the individual questions. Sometimes ABC, there's ABC questions, and then each of these sub question, they have a points stated, and in total you have 140 points. And then if you use Python, you don't have to use Python, but if you really use Python, Jupyter Lab in this case, you can get 10 more points for free, of course. I mean, yes, if you try to use Pythons, this is like appreciation token of appreciation, I would say. And here I give you also useful websites. You can click on it and you can open it and then learn from it if you like about how to use Python, how to use pandas and Python. So these are, I think, should be enough. Or otherwise, you can go to Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is also quite useful. ChatGPT or DeepSeek, you can check there. Of course, you have to type the right questions, how to generate the codes for example, Python and stuff. Yeah, so I encourage you really to try that. I mean, it will be quite fun. I mean, okay, so yeah, I think that's it. That's the end of the presentations. And if you have any comments or any question, let me know. And yes, so feel free to use any graphs you like for visualizations. You can use, doesn't have to use bar plots. You can use line plots. I don't know, like be creative here to express your idea. And also I think there is one open question. You can answer that with your own imagination, with your own ideas. Welcome to answer. And yes, so this is what I want to say to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if you have any question or comments, let me know. Maybe come back to the operator. Is the operator, sorry, yeah, so I think we are finished together with the presentations. Does anyone have any question or any difficulties that we can solve together now? For example, you cannot log into your CoCalc or something, then maybe we can try to solve it together if we can. Otherwise, thank you so much for today's sessions, and yeah, have a nice day and have a fun doing the exercise. Yeah, I think the next meeting will be in 2 weeks time, if I'm not wrong.
Mr. Martin, I have a question about the demonstration in Jupyter Lab. Could Mr. Martin please explain our demonstration a little about this code? Because I've tried, but it says there's a syntax error in my figure 4. I have already done according to explanation below, but still get syntax error, Mr. Martin.
Yeah. What does it say about the syntax error? Is this number? This is for which of the graph is that? Can you share your screen if you don't mind? You can share your screen actually. We can go through it together, no problem. I think, can you share your syntax error?
In this chat, Mister, because I tidak bisa share screen because
Okay.
I share screen, I leave Zoom.
Really? Okay. Okay, I will have a look on the chat. Sorry for that. Oh, okay. Oh, I think it seems that it's because of the, did you put an enter there or on the, this is interesting that it shouldn't happen like that. But let me open my codes also. I mean, maybe I will share my screen if I could. Share screen. Yes, share. Here, for example, if you can see my screen, is it okay? Sometimes when you do what do you call it? When you do login and you want they ask to buy license, you can ignore it. Don't worry. You can always close it or something, and we just ignore it. Doesn't matter. And here, for example, sorry, here, right? Transaction that time. I think that should be. Let me run again. Here you can always run. You say this is running. What's going on?
Belum, Mister.
Okay, yeah, it's running. And the next one is this one. Let me check whether there is an error. No, shouldn't be an error. I think you probably did you put that like, maybe this is the problem. Maybe the code should be interesting. Yeah, if maybe there is a space here or something that is not properly. Maybe I have the same error. Yeah, you cannot run two times because this is deleting. So this is deleting data. So if already deleted, then you have to run again the first one, for example. Yeah, and the second one again, then it's okay. Should be okay. Can you try again and run the first one, because it's about deleting data, deleting the. But if you find that problematic, you can comment out that out there. This one you can comment out like that, and then you don't try again maybe.
Okay, Mister. Thank you. I will try again for this code.
No problem. So you can run the first one again, and then after run the second one, and you have to always run downwards. Yeah, not like jumping around. So basically here, for example, you can do this. Run selected cell and all below, so it will run everything automatically. So if you do this, it will run from above to below automatically, and it will, yes, for example, this, and then the next one this, the next one this, and so on and so on. So basically until the end, basically. And here, for example, yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, so that's like, for example, yeah, for everything it will run everything. Yeah, so do you have any other questions, or is okay for you? I think now I come back to the screen, right? I don't know. Am I still sharing my screen? Yes. Okay, so any more questions from someone else or from you? Oh, I want to show something actually. So here, if you go to the Explorer, so in your, can you still see my screen or not?
Maaf, Pak.
Not, Mister.
Belum
Share
terlihat,
screen,
Pak.
sir.
Halo.
Terlihat, Pak.
Terlihat atau tidak terlihat?
Tidak terlihat, Pak.
Oh, oke, bentar. Aku share lagi. Yes. This is better now or not? Is it working now?
It hasn't working, sir.
Oh my God. What's going on there? Share. Please grant browser access. Sorry. Screen recording. So it means we cannot share the screen. Okay. It's interesting. Interesting that. I don't know why, but anyway. So you could. How is the best thing then? So anyone cannot share the screen. Can anyone share screen or not possible? If I need to check my system probably. I think it's a little bit complicated. So I think okay, I will leave it. 1 minute screen recording. I don't have that. No, because I don't have the same version as you do. That's not possible, I would say. Let me check again. Setting. General. No. Yes, sorry about that. So I cannot really, because I don't have Zoom, only the web Zoom actually. How? But do you know what I mean by uploading the data? But so far you can upload the data, right? This is not an issue, right? I mean, uploading the data, uploading the codes, and so on. You can, when you run, you always run from the top to the bottom, and then when you click on the run button, there is like a drop down, and then you can select run from above until below, from this selected cell until below. So that's you. If you click that, it will run all the cells until below. Okay. Okay, let me just maybe I can do a screenshot. I don't know. Okay. If I do a screenshot here, let's see.
Sorry, Mr. Martin, for interrupting.
Mm-hmm.
Mungkin boleh di-share screenshotnya ke saya. Maaf, saya baru join karena baru selesai menyelesaikan tugas shift di FEB Mart. Ya, mungkin nanti saya bisa share. Ya, oke.
Saya akan share lewat sebentar. Saya bisa message nggak di sini? Ya, saya akan kirim message di sini. Sebentar. Ya. So, open. For example, this, like this. So there's a drop-down menu. If you can see on the chat, then you can select run selected cell, and below it will run from top to below, or from your selected cell, like in the middle to below it. So it won't run other way around, because this doesn't work. And then, for example, for loading, I think everyone can load, right? Load data and stuff. But I will share also another one. for loading the data. Oh, no, sorry. This is the same one. I think my internet is also not very good, actually. I don't know why. But, okay, here I think that should be it. This is for loading the data. Oh, I cannot load it somehow for this screenshot. I don't know why. It's a bit weird. But anyway, so you know how to load the data, right? I guess you know.
Jadi Mr. Martin apakah bisa sekali lagi mencoba untuk share screen?
Okay, let me try.
Di share screen button di bagian bawah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's an issue because because you are recording. So if you stop the recording, I think I can share the screen. It says here only please grant browser access to screen recording, but I cannot grant the access. I don't have the choice to do that. Ya, jadi dia minta saya kasih akses untuk recording, untuk share screen saya, tapi saya tidak punya aksesnya. Jadi kalau Anda stop recordingnya, mungkin saya bisa share. Saya akan coba kalau Anda stop recording. Coba, saya udah coba.
Oke, Mr. Martin.
Oke, saya coba lagi. Apakah bisa? Tidak bisa juga ya. Oh, maaf tidak bisa. Tidak bisa itu.
Sorry, Sir Martin. Maybe I can help you with the share screen.
Yeah, please, yes, if you could.
Ya, mungkin Mr. Martin bisa mengarahkan nanti step by step-nya kemana saja. Ya.
Ya. Okay. Ya, ini bagus ya. Oke. Jadi Anda perlu tadi yang tidak bisa dijalankan itu nomor 2 ya, kalau nggak salah ya, sel nomor 2. Tapi untuk Anda bisa kah? Karena begini, kalau Anda sudah menjalankan sel nomor 2 dan Anda balik menjalankan lagi, itu tidak mungkin karena sel nomor 2 itu instruksi untuk menghapus berapa kolom, itu 2 kolom dihilangkan. Kalau Anda menjalankan di situ mungkin bisa, tapi kalau Anda menjalankan di sel individual sel itu tidak bisa. Coba kalau Anda klik ke sel nomor 2 lagi, Pak. Nomor 2 lagi. Yang kedua, yang itu yang pertama. Ya ini, yang nomor 2 ini Anda run lagi, coba. Kalau nggak salah nggak bisa. Bukan run di situ, yang diklik langsung gitu. Ya, oke. Iya, run current cell juga boleh. Bisa ya, masih bisa. Run current cell. Interesting. Seharusnya kalau udah di drop biasanya tidak bisa lagi. Ya, error. Correct. Jadi kalau Anda jalankan nomor 1 lagi, karena sudah delete, sudah dihapus itunya kolomnya. Kalau Anda ingin menjalankan nomor 2 lagi, Anda harus jalankan nomor 1. Sel nomor 1 lagi. Jadi import lagi. Nggak perlu import lagi, maksudnya langsung jalankan nomor 1, run nomor 1 lagi, terus otomatis nomor 2 langsung jalan. Ya. Ya, terus nomor 2 Anda bisa jalankan. Itu pasti bisa. Current cell juga oke. Dan kalau Anda mau misalnya ke nomor 3 ya, Anda ke nomor 3, sel nomor 3, terus klik di run itu kan ada di atasnya itu ada yang run ya. Run selected No, wait. Run selected cell and no. If you go, Anda balik lagi ke ya. Run selected cell and all below. So that's will run everything. No. Ya yang itu benar, yang bawah. No, not that one. Nomor 6 ya, nomor 5 dari atas. Pilihnya. Ya. Ya, itu akan jalan ke bawahnya terus. Terus kalau Anda ingin misalnya pengen buat sel baru, Anda tahu gimana caranya untuk buat sel baru? Misalnya Anda pengen ngetik apa yang baru gitu, misalnya bagaimana caranya? Anda bisa ya kayak gitu ya, sedikit di atas begitu, terus nanti keluar copy atau dia bilang paste ya. Ya, kode. Itu kalau Anda klik kode, ya nanti keluar itu. Ya. Kalau Anda pengen hapus itu, Anda bisa yang di samping itu ada di sebelahnya hijau itu. No, samping kiri. Itu ada kayak gambar itu ya. Itu bisa naik turun bisa ya, terus bisa diklik kalau nggak salah. Apakah Anda bisa klik itu ikonnya itu? Ikon 3 itu. Dan Anda bisa delete
tidak
itu
bisa,
ya.
Mister.
Tidak bisa? Right click bisa nggak?
Tidak bisa juga, Mister.
Tidak bisa juga. Oke, berarti bisa dipindah doang ya. Oke. Kalau Anda ke samping kiri atas, itu ya di situ ada bisa tiga itu apa itu? Ya. Ke bawah. Scroll down, scrolling. Ya, delete cell. Ya, bisa. Ya, you can delete. Ya. Emang agak ribet ya, sedikit agak ribet, tapi kalau untuk Anda itu bagus sekali, tidak ada pertanyaan untuk apa harus beli license atau apa. Bagus, mungkin di Indonesia tidak perlu beli license, di sini malah saya suruh beli license. Biasanya tidak perlu beli license ya. Karena ini gratis online. Tapi apakah Anda mengerti cara untuk tulis kode atau bagaimana? Secara garis besar Anda mengerti kan untuk apa namanya analisa data. Anda mengerti prinsipnya begitu?
Not yet sih, Mister. Masih bingung lah.
Oke. Jadi kalau untuk apa namanya, untuk coding itu begini. Jadi ini sebetulnya nggak gitu, bukan begitu coding berat ya. Ini coding yang ringan, sangat ringan sekali. Ini sangat menggunakan AI sekali, dan interface-nya juga sangat menggunakan AI. Jadi kita sebetulnya punya data itu di dalam warung kopi itu, dan kita punya banyak kolom. Jadi setiap kolom itu ada variabel, dan setiap variabel itu ya, yang di pertama itu kan Anda bisa lihat kolom-kolom transaction ID. Anda bisa scroll kanan kiri ya kalau nggak salah. Ya benar. Jadi ini semua kolom yang tersedia dalam data aslinya ya, dalam CSV file. Ini datanya itu. Dan dalam data ini kita ada, for example, dengan contoh itu transaksi data tanggal transaksi, lokasi dari tokonya, dan produknya, misalnya produknya apa yang dia jual, terus harga produknya berapa, 3 euro for example ya, here the first one 3 euro, and dia belinya cuma 1, ya dikali 3 jadi 3 kan, gitu istilahnya begitu. Kalau yang misalnya di baris nomor berapa itu 4, dia beli 4 kali 4,25 jadi 17 euro totalnya transaksi nomor berapa itu ya. Untuk cappuccino dia beli barista cappuccino, beli 4 biji. Dan ya itu jadi istilahnya ini cuman data statistik. Dan tujuan saya presentasi ini adalah untuk saya ingin Anda lihat data ini, analisa data ini, dan untuk menganalisanya saya ingin Anda kalau bisa pakai Python. Tapi Anda bisa pakai yang lain juga boleh. Kalau mau pakai misalnya Excel, misalnya tadi saya bilang pakai Excel, Anda juga bisa CSV-nya itu dimasukkan Excel, terus Anda pakai pivot table. Apakah Anda pernah pakai pivot table? Saya tidak tahu ya, maksudnya pivot table juga Anda bisa analisa seperti ini, jadi bisa grouping, bisa dan sebagainya, sama persis seperti Python ini, istilahnya begitu. Kalau Anda, apakah saya tidak tahu ya, maksudnya apakah Anda merasa bahwa ini terlalu susah atau bagaimana? Nanti saya akan, kalau emang Anda terlalu susah, mungkin dalam seminggu, saya kasih waktu seminggu. Mungkin hostnya di sini, Kak Siti, mungkin bisa bisa um, bisa collect feed, kumpulkan komen-komen. Apakah mereka bisa mengerjakan ini dengan Jupyter Lab? Kalau tidak bisa, nanti saya akan bantu sedikit ya untuk codingnya. Jadi istilahnya saya masukkan topik tips-tips gitu, saya kirim langsung code-nya yang saya sebetulnya sudah buat semua untuk sampai pertanyaannya sampai terakhir itu. Dan saya mungkin akan sedikit mengganti sedikit biar Anda mengerti gitu bagaimana cara memasukkan data, harus ketik apa atau bagaimana gitu. Nanti saya akan kirim semua, dan Anda yang mencoba sendiri, tinggal misalnya, oh ini harus dimasukkan, ini harus dimasukkan itu, tapi saya udah kasih itunya pilihannya gitu. Mungkin itu lebih gampang, saya tidak tahu. Ya, atau Anda ingin semuanya pakai misalnya cara lain, misalnya tadi saya bilang Excel, tapi saya tidak tahu apakah Anda semua bisa memakai Excel atau tidak. Bagaimana itu? Boleh tahu misalnya apakah Anda semua bisa tahu cara menggunakan, paling tidak satu di grup Anda itu, satu orang itu bisa menggunakan Excel untuk pivot table atau menggunakan ini, itu sangat baik kalau bisa, kalau ada yang begitu. Ya begitu kira-kira Pak Ahmad. Jadi bagaimana ini? Menurut Anda bagaimana? Menurut Anda sendiri, apakah Anda kira-kira bisa mau mencoba, atau mungkin Anda mau pakai cara lain, mungkin pakai Excel, tidak apa-apa, itu juga tidak masalah.
Mungkin ya.
Personally sih mungkin nggak apa-apa pakai Calc ya. Tapi ya itu mungkin kita semua belum pernah ini pertama kali juga.
Ya, jadi begini, kalau tidak begini, apakah saya mungkin kasih waktu lebih lama, misalnya 3 minggu, dan saya akan 3 minggu dan saya akan balik lagi untuk hasilnya, atau sekarang 2 minggu, dan kalau dalam 1 minggu Anda tidak bisa, mungkin Anda masih kacau atau masih tidak tahu caranya, dan merasa tidak nyaman atau nggak confident ya untuk mengerjakannya, dan saya akan mungkin kirim code-nya dan Anda tinggal run, atau misalnya saya akan kirim code tapi tidak sempurna dan Anda tinggal sedikit-sedikit gitu, kayak puzzle gitulah istilahnya, memasukkan yang benar, dan akan berjalan dengan benar. Bagaimana? Ya mungkin itu alternatifnya, tapi sekarang Anda boleh coba sendiri dulu, mungkin dalam seminggu. Saya pengen tahu misalnya apakah terlalu berat. Kalau terlalu berat mungkin saya akan ganti caranya.
Ya
Kalau
boleh.
ya boleh, terima kasih.
Ya mungkin kalau misalkan ada pendapat atau isu mungkin saya bisa sampaikan ke Mr. Martin.
Boleh. Justru saya ingin kalau misalnya ada kendala, Anda boleh bertanya, boleh misalnya kirim email ke saya dan mungkin pakai call kayak begini misalnya untuk menyelesaikan bersama-sama, misalnya kendalanya ini saya tidak mengerti ini. Ya, kita bisa begitu juga boleh, maksudnya untuk misalnya individual group misalnya untuk grup misalnya grup meeting atau bagaimana itu boleh juga. Oke. Ya, tapi tadi saya bilang juga kalau misalnya Anda tidak nyaman pakai Jupyter, bisa pakai Excel. Excel juga saya kira Excel sering dipakaikah di sana untuk kuliah atau bagaimana? Untuk data analisis.
Ya mungkin kalau opsi keduanya jika memang Jupyter masih ada kendala di Jupyter, kita pakai Excel. Mungkin izin tanya Mr. Martin, kemarin kan sempat dikirim file warung kopi dalam bentuk CSV.
Benar.
Ya, kalau untuk Excel itu nanti kita ekspornya dalam bentuk XLX atau CSV?
No, jadi CSV yang kemarin itu Anda bisa ekspor ke Excel, tidak masalah. Dalam bentuk CSV tidak masalah. Tapi Anda kalau Anda misalnya bekerja di Excel dan Anda save Excel-nya itu, Anda harus save dalam XLS. Karena kalau Anda save dalam CSV, mereka tidak akan save pivot table karena CSV itu tidak bisa multiple apa itu namanya? Sheet ya. Multiple. Jadi kan kalau Excel itu ada sheet 1, 2, 3, 4 sampai berapa kalau Anda buat sheets baru gitu. Kalau Anda save dalam CSV lagi, kalau Anda sudah mengerjakan dan save dalam CSV lagi, Anda akan hilang semua datanya. Maksudnya data yang Anda sudah kerjakan maksudnya. Data yang analisis yang sudah Anda kerjakan. Jadi kalau Anda pakai Excel, save-nya dalam Excel. Tapi loading datanya tidak apa-apa. CSV itu tidak masalah. CSV bisa dibaca oleh Excel. Bisa.
Izin bertanya lagi, kalau untuk output tugasnya atau apa yang menjadi ekspektasi Mr. Martin untuk kayak untuk kita mempresentasikan tugasnya itu apa yang harus kita presentasikan?
Kayak presentasi saya itu kayak jawaban misalnya nomor 1, jawaban Anda boleh pakai PowerPoint misalnya kalau Anda punya PowerPoint. Kalau saya tidak punya PowerPoint, saya pakai LaTeX. Kalau LaTeX itu program khusus untuk laptop saya karena saya pakainya Apple Mac. Tidak punya itu apa namanya PowerPoint itu. Tidak punya. Tunjukkan misalnya di Excel itu ada gambarnya, terus Anda mau ketik misalnya ada jawaban yang kayak misalnya apa itu yang kayak misalnya untuk komen atau apa, Anda bisa komen di Excel, tentu boleh juga. Dan tentu itu boleh juga kalau Anda ingin presentasi kayak tadi saya bilang copy paste gambarnya untuk ditaruh di PowerPoint, Anda juga boleh. Ya, yang penting satu grup itu paling nggak ada jawaban gitulah ya. Jadi istilahnya dalam satu grup itu paling nggak ada jawaban itu. Makanya saya menyuruh Anda untuk membentuk grup itu, maksudnya untuk ini. Jadi istilahnya kalau misalnya satu ada problem, jadi yang lain bisa membantu atau Anda bisa sharing, bisa ya menyelesaikan masalahnya bersama-sama begitu, istilahnya begitu. Ya, jadi ekspektasinya sih itu aja, nggak gitu itu kok. Yang penting jawabannya benar, maksudnya jawabannya benar dan Anda seperti yang saya bilang tadi tidak harus menggunakan Python. Kalau Anda mau menggunakan Excel boleh juga, tidak ada masalah. Ya, yang penting Anda tahu bagaimana cara. Yang penting di sini sebetulnya bukan Python programmingnya, tapi mengerti bagaimana cara analisa data analisis untuk menjawab pertanyaan-pertanyaan tadi itu Anda perlu melakukan data analisis atau mathematical teknik ya, maksudnya kalau sebetulnya ini kan semua adalah matematik sebetulnya. pengen statistik ya kalau bilang gitu ya, statistik, tapi saya program semuanya, jadi bisa langsung dapat jawaban begitu, istilahnya begitu. Tapi kalau Anda pengen pakai Excel juga bisa pakai pivot table tadi saya bilang, pakai pivot table, dan itu pivot table Anda bisa filter, misalnya saya pengen kategori yang ini doang, nanti saya hasilnya begini, Anda bisa copy tabelnya itu untuk presentasi, atau terserah Anda bagaimana, maksudnya copy gambarnya atau bagaimana, dan ya. Oke. Ada pertanyaan lagi? Ini kelihatannya Bang Ahmad sudah ahli untuk kokalk ini. Sebetulnya di kokalk juga ada program-program lain. Anda bisa lihat misalnya R atau apa, tapi ini yang paling gampang inilah. Saya tidak berani untuk mengajar program-program lain karena mungkin lebih ribet.
Maybe you can give us tutorial, sir, how to answer question number 1 on this.
Number 1 tadi kan saya sudah kasih tadi, sudah ada di bawah situ kan, sudah ada kodenya. Number 1 itu kalau nggak salah pertanyaannya apa itu? Sudah contohnya yang tadi saya fotoin di presentasi. Kalau Anda scroll ke bawah, number 1 yang tadi pertanyaannya apa ya tadi ya? Kalau nggak salah mengenai saya nggak hafal pertanyaannya. Tapi kalau Anda scroll ke bawah itu ada pertanyaan number 1 kalau nggak salah. Scroll ke bawah terus, ke bawah terus, ke bawah terus, ke bawah terus. Ya ini yang tadi ke atas dikit. Ya. Pertanyaan yang ke atas dikit, atas dikit. No, atas lagi. Okay, yeah, stop. Yeah, number 1 here. Here. There is a comment here. Number 20. I think column number 20. Cell number 20, sorry. What types of products are mostly ordered by customers? So, this should be actually, sorry, number 1 question I think should be category, not product, sorry. This not types, but category. Yes, so I think you can change the comment there, should be category, not types. You can type it correctly. Ya, kategori. Saya lupa ganti yang di sini, yang di presentasi slide kayaknya sudah benar, ya, tapi yang di sini saya. What product categories are mostly ordered by customers? So ini pertanyaannya, kategori produk yang mana yang banyak dipesan sama customer yang sudah terjual itu banyakkan apa? Tapi saya mintanya sini jadi setiap lokasi toko, kan kita ada 3 lokasi ya tadi ya, di Asturias, di Barcelona, sama di Madrid. Dan produk kategorinya itu ada berapa? 9 ya, kalau nggak salah. 9. Jadi produk kategorinya itu ada bakery, ada coffee beans, ada drinking chocolates, ada sirup, ada flavoring sirup ya, this is untuk sirup rasa. Terus ada apa lagi itu, pokoknya sampai ada 9. Nah, di produk kategori, ini jadi kalau pakai Jupyter itu data frame-nya yang tadi kita udah import ke sini dari CSV itu, saya udah store namanya DF data frame-nya itu datanya ada di situ, semua di situ. Nah, datanya itu saya mau taruh datanya itu, saya mau grup datanya itu dalam kategori ini. Jadi produk kategori kan karena perlunya per produk kategori ya. Terus per lokasi. Jadi saya pengen tahu setiap produk kategori dan setiap lokasi itu ada berapa sebetulnya produk yang terjual, sudah terjual itu berapa. Paham atau bagaimana? Sebetulnya ini lebih ke database sih, lebih ke database. Jadi kalau saya kerja juga begini, kadang-kadang orang itu minta tolong analisa berapa banyak, misalnya saya kerja di asuransi ya, berapa banyak orang yang mengambil produk ini misalnya begitu di lokasi ini. Misalkan ada produknya ada 5 misalnya, tapi orang customernya itu ada 5 juta. Tidak mungkin saya harus cek itu sampai sampai sebulan, mungkin nggak selesai kali, nggak tahu benar atau tidak. Nah kalau pakai program ini istilahnya Anda kan bisa bisa langsung cek gitu, maksudnya jumlahnya Anda juga bisa nanti bisa tahu totalnya benar atau tidak gitu, totalnya benar ini itu istilahnya begitu ya. Um, ya transaction quantity.
So the answer for the question one is coffee gitu. Because it's
The answer is coffee ya. Ya, the answer is coffee.
so
Ya.
jadi
Tadi kan
nanti di PowerPoint-nya itu ditaruh bukti tabelnya aja
bukti tabelnya
dan di
aja. Bukti tabelnya aja.
oh,
Bukti tabelnya aja. Tapi kalau Anda mau taruh kodenya juga boleh. Itu tidak masalah. Bukti tabelnya aja atau tabel yang penting itu, maksudnya yang bagian yang penting aja boleh, ya nggak masalah ya. Atau anda kalau anda ingin plot juga, kayak plotting kan tadi kan saya juga plotting kan, yang kalau nggak salah yang selanjutnya itu saya plotting. Kalau misalnya pertanyaannya itu misalnya ABC gitu, B-nya mungkin tabelnya, C-nya plottingnya gitu, boleh. Boleh ada foto apa namanya, screenshot tabelnya aja, terus yang plotnya juga screenshot plotnya aja gitu. Tapi nomor 1 sama nomor 3 udah saya jawab tadi, tidak perlu menjawab lagi. Nomor 4 selanjutnya, nomor 4. Ya ini plotnya kan, misalnya per lokasi ini. Top selling product in Madrid, top selling product Barcelona. Uh, Kalau di plot itu bisa lihat semuanya, jadi lebih gampang kan ya, lihat produk dari semua produk kategori itu apa aja sih yang paling tinggi itu, yang penjualannya paling tinggi. Terus yang kedua apa, yang ketiga apa, terus. Tapi nggak, maksudnya terang kalau pertanyaannya mengenai itu atau apa gitu. Kalau yang kayak susah-susah gitu time series itu saya cuma kasih contoh aja, itu nggak perlu, nggak, di pertanyaan saya sudah saya ganti, tidak ada yang time series. Ya ini pertanyaan nomor berapa ini? Ada yang pertanyaan ini kalau nggak salah. Yang terakhir itu di kolom di sel yang terakhir itu, uh, what is the product category under souvenir or something? There is one question about it. Ya, but ini items ya. Dia minta items ya, berarti detail, produk detail. Tapi saya udah tulis di itunya pertanyaannya, saya kasih kunci-kunci gitu. Produk detail ini benar ini jawabannya. Ini jawaban nomor berapa ya? Nomor 5 kalau nggak salah. Saya lupa, nomor 5 atau 6 mungkin. Nomor 6 mungkin. Jadi jawabannya, apakah produk-produk item itu, maksudnya produk detail under souvenir itu isinya apa aja? Nah ini isinya itu ada 3 sebetulnya. T-shirts, kalau nggak t-shirts ya diner mug, kalau nggak ya latex. Jadi dia jual souvenirnya apa aja gitu. Tipenya apa aja tipenya? Maksudnya bukan tipenya sih, apa produknya itu apa aja. Ya, apakah kira-kira mulai mengerti atau bagaimana? Ini sebetulnya adalah bagian dari data database querying ya, database apa itu namanya, query database. Ini yang kita lakukan sekarang ini namanya query database. Jadi tidak ada prediksi, tidak ada apa-apa, cuman analisa aja, cuma analisa data dari data yang sudah ada. Data yang sudah ada kita bersihkan, kita filter, kita bersihkan, dan kita analisa. Maksudnya apa yang terjadi itu dalam data itu. Jadi kita tahu, oh ternyata penjualan ini paling banyak penjualan ini, bulan ini paling banyak penjualan ini, begitu sebetulnya. Oke, ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan lain?
Terkait presentasinya, apakah harus berbahasa Inggris atau
Oh,
boleh
nggak perlu.
bahasa?
Boleh bahasa Indonesia, boleh. Maaf, mengenai itu maaf ya. Boleh bahasa Indonesia, boleh. Boleh jawab bahasa Indonesia, tidak masalah. Tapi apakah Anda mengerti pertanyaan dalam bahasa Inggris? Tapi kalaupun Anda tidak mengerti, Anda bisa translate di DeepL atau di mana, misalnya di DeepSeek atau di ChatGPT, Anda bisa translate semua. Tidak masalah. Kalau untuk jawabannya tidak masalah, boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia. Untuk presentasinya boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia. Ini tidak masalah. Tidak mengurangi nilai, tidak ada.
Mr. Martin izin bertanya, untuk sistem presentasinya itu dari setiap anggota atau representatif group?
Oh, no, representatif. Enggak tiap anggota. Kalau enggak selesai deh. Enggak. Jadi nilainya nanti kalau dapat ya untuk grup itu. Jadi semua orang yang dapat segitu, yang dalam grup itu dapat segitu istilahnya. Kalau untuk per grup ya, kan kita kan itunya presentasinya per grup. Istilahnya poinnya per grup. Jadi semua orang yang di grup itu ya dapat poin segitu. Gitu. Nggak presentasinya per grup, nggak per satu orang aja, satu orang yang presentasi setiap grup. Kalau nggak salah 6 ya, ada 6 atau 8, saya lupa.
Ada mungkin dari kelompok kelas E itu ada 2, kelompok dari kelas B berapa Dinda?
4.
4, ya 6.
Ya,
Ya,
6
total.
benar. Yang saya agak bingung bagaimana cara Anda presentasinya begini. Misalkan kita misalkan kita jawab nomor 1, bukan nomor 4 ya. Nomor 4 sampai sekarang kan ada 5 pertanyaan yang belum terjawab. Nomor 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ada pokoknya sampai 8. 9 itu kan cuman keterangan, nggak ada bukan pertanyaan nomor 9 itu. Jadi nomor 5, 6, 7, 8 itu kan ada 5 pertanyaan. Nah, kalau misalnya ada presentasi, apakah lebih gampang presentasinya per grup satu kali jawab semuanya, pertanyaan semuanya, atau misalnya nomor 1 grup ini, nomor 1 grup sebelahnya gitu, ataukah jadi istilahnya apakah kita akan jawab satu persatu, langsung tahu jawabannya satu persatu, atau satu grup presentasi sampai habis pertanyaannya baru grup berikutnya begitu? Menurut Anda bagaimana yang lebih gampang?
Mungkin kalau kalau satu grup menjawab pertanyaan 5 sampai ke 8 itu bisa aja Mr. Martin mungkin misalkan ingin membuat mungkin waktunya aja mungkin akan lebih memakan waktu lebih lama. Kalau misalkan satu grup mempresentasikan pertanyaan 5 sampai 8 pun kalau misalkan untuk presentasi satu grup satu pertanyaan itu juga bisa. Atau mungkin untuk hari ini saya mau coba bicarakan dulu dengan anak-anak kelas. Ada baiknya gimana?
Ya, nggak apa-apa. Jadi itu kayaknya sih yang paling bagus ya satu grup, satu pertanyaan dulu. Misalnya pertanyaan satu, tapi Anda ganti-ganti dong. Misalnya grup ini. Nah, itu saya pikirkan itu. Saya juga pikirkan kalau misalnya satu grup, misalnya presentasi sampai habis, dan saya akan menjawab dong. Pasti saya nggak mungkin bilang, oh ini salah benar gitu. Pasti yang grup yang lainnya, yang kedua, udah tahu dong jawaban yang benar yang mana. Begitu kan istilahnya.
Iya.
Saya tidak mau itu juga, maksudnya itu nggak fair dong istilahnya. Jadi kalau satu grup dijawab langsung pertanyaan satu grup nomor 1 doang, terus grup berikutnya itu kan Kan lebih versi saya bilang, atau bagaimana itu? Ya, saya pikir sih mungkin satu pertanyaan dijawab satu kali. Jadi satu pertanyaan itu kita pindah ke grup-grup sampai habis, baru pertanyaan berikutnya. Saya kira itu yang paling baik. Saya kira begitu.
Iya, boleh seperti itu. Satu grup, satu pertanyaan.
Mhm. Ya, oke. Any more questions? Kalau ada pertanyaan lagi boleh, atau untuk berikutnya, session berikutnya kira-kira 1,5 jam cukup atau bagaimana?
Session berikutnya itu kan berarti tinggal session 4. Itu untuk sesi presentasi terakhir atau bagaimana Mr. Martin? Oh ya,
Ya tidak masalah sih sebetulnya. Berarti session 4 itu sekitar 1 jam cukup atau 1,5 jam, nanti kita lihat, tidak masalah sih, tidak ada masalah.
mungkin 1,5 jam.
Mm-mm. Oke. Mhm. Oke, kalau tidak ada pertanyaan lagi kita bisa tutup mungkin, atau kalau Anda masih ada pertanyaan lain.
Ya mungkin kita bisa untuk sesi dokumentasi dulu untuk
Boleh.
screenshot. Akan diarahkan
Boleh.
oleh saya. Dini boleh untuk screenshot ya Dini. Boleh teman-teman yang ingin membuka kamera untuk dokumentasi. Dipersilahkan.
Silakan.
Ya, sekitar 1 menit ya.
Oke. Oke, baik. Saya akan arahkan. Oke, slide pertama. 1, 2, 3. Slide kedua. Terus slide kedua boleh on cam. 1, 2, 3. Oke. Sudah tahu?
Sudah.
Sudah, Bapak.
Terima kasih banyak. Ya, kalau ada sesuatu yang Anda tidak jelas atau apa, boleh kontak saya, itu tidak masalah, tidak ada masalah. Atau mau langsung, kalau ingin kontak langsung ke WhatsApp saya juga boleh, misalnya nanti mungkin host akan kasih atau bagaimana, kalau perlu akan untuk misalnya ada masalah untuk pertanyaan-pertanyaannya, atau ada masalah untuk setup Python atau hal-hal yang lain, misalnya datanya atau bagaimana. Oke?
Oke, misalnya.
Ya. Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih banyak atas waktu dan
Terima kasih
materinya.
banyak.
Terima kasih.